Point one. Point two. To be reformed is to believe Jesus stands at the center of everything we know about God. We have not made our way to God, but God to us. The Word was made flesh not only for a time at Christmas, but is made flesh. So what? Here's what I want to explain. In a world worn out by doing, we have a God who doesn't just do things for us, but is for us. What we see when we look at Jesus Christ, that baby lying in a manger, that man eating with tax collectors and sinners, that man crying out on the cross, "Why have you forsaken me?" That risen one who takes his body along with him. You know, resurrection would have been a lot more convenient if you just left the body behind in the tomb, right? We could have said, well, resurrection's a spiritual thing. Of course it's not about the body, but it's about the body because Jesus doesn't leave us behind. Our bodies, our world this day, the things of this earth in the resurrection, but brings those things into the life of our God. What does that mean? It means that what we know in Jesus Christ, what he did in his ministry, what he taught in his ministry, is more than just an expression of a rescue operation or something that God did for us. Son, you got to get down there and rescue those people. Okay, Dad, let me just put on my baby costume. I'll go down and see Mary, right? And then the ascension isn't Jesus whooshing back up to heaven and saying, okay, got that mission done. What's next, right? What we see in Jesus Christ here on this earth reveals the character of who God is. Wow. I talk like I understand that. I don't understand that, but I know what it's about, right? That's the way to do theology. Can't understand, but we know what it's about. What it means is that we are with God now in Jesus Christ. Our lives are hidden with Christ in God, that we have a God who not only came down and fiddled around and did stuff and fixed things for us, and will do it again in the second coming, but is for us in God's very life. I have a story I used to tell a lot, but I don't think I've told this in years. When I was a teenager, I was trying to, now I've got teenagers. I haven't told this story since I'm going to have to recalibrate because I've got kids who are teenagers now. So I'll do that on the plane later. But when I was a kid, a teenager, I was trying to distance from my parents, and it drove them crazy because I wasn't communicating well. I mean, I wasn't doing anything wrong, which drove them crazier, because if I had done things that were wrong, they could have yelled at me, and yelling is very intimate. So they really didn't have any license to yell at me because I was such a goody two-shoes kid. But what drove them especially crazy was how polite I was. How was your day at school, honey? It was fine, thank you. And how was your day? What'd you do in school today? Well, I went to social studies, and then I went to math, and then I had band, and then I had home. Well, they didn't want me to go through my classes. They wanted me to talk about something that was real to me, but they couldn't yell at me because I was technically answering their questions. So one night, my mother makes a great dinner, all my favorite foods. I come downstairs, I eat the dinner, I help her clear the table, I look at her and I say, "Thanks, Mom, for doing that for me." Exit stage left, I walk out of the kitchen, my mother loses it. "Cynthia Lynn Rigby," she yells, tears in her eyes. "Come back here right now," looks at me. "Cindy, don't you dare ever thank me for doing things for you. I am not doing things for you." "Don't you realize," she said, "don't you realize that you're a part of me?" Right? The difference between God doing things for us and God being for us is huge. It changes everything. Reformed theology has a message in this regard to bring to the world. God is for this world. God is for every person in this world. God is for us in Jesus Christ.